This is Lake Biwa, the biggest lake in Japan.
Located right next to Kyoto in Shiga Prefecture. Its shoreline is about 200 kilometers long, and we're going to be driving all the way around it. Why? I don't know, it seemed fun. And I want to add it to my scrapbook.
We're going to drive all the way around it and see as many attractions as we can before we have to return the car in 36 hours. And hopefully the rain lets up too.
Life around Lake Biwa goes back way further than Kyoto's history, and yet its historical landmarks are much less visited. This time, we'll visit a museum designed by the person that created the glass pyramid of the Louvre in Paris, eat some delicious ramen, and visit one of the most stunning temple gardens I have ever seen in Japan.
I was not expecting that.
But I gotta say, we definitely underestimated what we were getting ourselves into.
Was this a really bad idea?
But before we get started, I have a question for you.
Why did you click on this video? Is it because you're doing your own research for a Lake Biwa trip? And if so, what kind of information would be useful? For example, how to get to each of these places by public transport or how to rent a car in Japan. The reason I'm asking is because these days it kind of feels like there's more information than ever on the internet, but it can kind of feel hard to figure out what you can rely on and trust. And obviously I'm not an expert in any of this, but I can talk to my own experiences if that would help anyone. So for example, there's so many eSIM companies out there, which is one of the reasons why I partnered with Airalo, and they are the sponsors of this video too, so thanks Airalo, because they are an eSIM that I have used in Japan and they have been reliable in my experience. For those who haven't heard of Airalo, it's an eSIM company that offer data packages in over 200 countries and regions, not just Japan. Basically, it just means that when you're traveling, you don't have to purchase a physical SIM card to be connected. It's just all on its phone, which is basically what an eSIM is, just a digital SIM card in an app. But apart from that, I am curious. Please let me know down in the comments what other kind of information would be useful when you're planning a Japan trip or like a road trip into the countryside like this one. But yeah, if you would like to try Airalo, you can use my discount code SUNNY to get an extra $3 off when you sign up. You can check it out through the QR code on the screen now, or information will be in the description below. But yeah, please let me know down in the comments what kind of information you find useful when you're researching for your trips, or if you are even interested in exploring the Japanese countryside. Anyway, let's get back to it. Oh, and thank you Airalo for sponsoring this video.
We're starting from Otsu at the base of Lake Biwa.
We are now on our way from Otsu Station, heading to our first destination. It's a temple called Chikurin-in. We've rented a car from 8 AM this morning until 8 PM tomorrow. You can take the train up to Otsu and then rent a car from there. That's probably the easiest thing to do because Otsu is like only 2 train stops away from Kyoto Station. On the local train, you don't need to take the Shinkansen. We came from Osaka, so we just got a car over there. But in hindsight, it was kind of expensive taking the expressway and it was really busy on the roads, so it probably would have been smarter and cheaper for us to take the train up to Otsu and then hire a car there. But you can also rent a bike there if you want to do a cycle around Otsu or whole cycle around Lake Biwa. This is the map for that. I wonder how long it takes. That'll be fun to do. Shiga 最高。
旧竹林院に到着しました。
Chikurin-in is located at the base of Mount Hiei, and it's technically no longer a temple, hence the Q or former in its name.
So we took off our shoes.
It used to be a retreat for monks, but what this place is famous for is for the gorgeous views of the garden.
珍しくない？
撮影してください。わ、すごいね。あ、これを使って。
There's also an upstairs area.
So steep.
今ここ。で、こう行って日吉大社に行こうか。
Let's do it. It's so close.
もうすぐそこや。
Yeah.
なあ。
There's the car park right here.
There's a lot of temples and shrines around Lake Biwa, so there was no way we were going to be able to visit all of them, which is why we decided to start with this combo because they were right next to each other.
This is the map. Oh my god, it's quite big.
Hiyoshi Taisha is a complex of 40 shrines, 7 of which are major and then some other smaller shrines. The warlord Oda Nobunaga, who was considered the first unifier of Japan, actually had this complex burnt down, but then his predecessor helped in its restoration.
So each of these is like an individual shrine and they like worship different things.
ちょっと存じかねますけども、ここはとりあえず宇佐釜殿社、火を使う場所を守る神様です。キッチンとか、あとなんか調理上達の神でもあるらしい。
That's really interesting. So anyone that wants to become a chef could like come here and like pray.
まあシェフじゃなくても家庭料理とか、だからまあ自分の子供たちの食べさすものを上手に作れるようになりたいっていう意味もあると思う。
That's cool.
It was very, very pretty with the framing of the autumn leaves, but it was much bigger than we had anticipated.
We're just at the base of Lake Biwa, so we've got a long way to go, so we're going to keep going.
こんにちは。このキーマカレー、チーズホットサンド一つ。お願いします。
Alright, got our coffees and got our keema curry hot sandwich.
いただきます。What cheese is it?
After our early lunch, we continue north along the lake.
Oh, it's so pretty. It's so nice when I can get a soy latte out in the countryside of Japan.
The weather was teetering on the brink of rain, but we were optimistic it would pass.
So this road here on the right goes down to Ukimido, which is a gorgeous floating hall over Lake Biwa. And we went there last time, which you can check out in the previous video once you finish watching this. It's really pretty, but we're not going to have time to visit it this time, so we're going to have to skip it. But if anyone's interested in checking it out, it's beautiful. Oh my god, it's a raccoon. That's so cute. Wow, look at the rainbow. We're heading into Takashima City right now. And Takashima City is known as the City of Rainbows. So this is so fitting. We're driving towards the edge of the rainbow. But the closer you get to a rainbow, the less you can see it. So when you actually get to where the end of the rainbow is, you can't see the rainbow anymore. Isn't that so weird?
悲しい。
I feel like there's a metaphor in there somewhere. Now we're passing Shirahiga Shrine. Shirahiga Shrine's really nice, but as you can see, there's a highway between where the view spot is for the shrine and the shrine in the water itself, which is quite challenging. However, if you come in the morning or in the evening, that's I think when it's the prettiest. It's also the quietest in terms of traffic, and you can get a really nice shot. I think it's the sunrise actually that's really nice from Shirahiga, but you'll get nice colors in the sunset as well. And just be careful with the highway. The traffic is pretty constant, and if you run out in front of it, chances are, like, I can't see people if they suddenly jump out in front of me here, so just be careful. But yeah, we did visit it in our last Shiga video, so go check that out.
Shiga Prefecture has so many amazing hidden gems, and we spent last video exploring a few of them, so if this video is sparking your interest, I highly recommend checking that one out as well. But in the meantime, as the clouds started looming overhead, it was time for us to face our next obstacle of the trip.
Lake Biwa is really big. It's too big for us to drive around the whole thing in one day, so we're gonna have to sleep somewhere and then continue tomorrow. However, we haven't booked a hotel anywhere because we didn't know where we would be by the end of the day. So the plan is, after about 3 p.m, we're gonna just go to whatever hotel we're near to and ask them if they have any rooms for us. And yeah, just do that until we find somewhere, hopefully. And hopefully that works out and we don't have to sleep in the car. We are currently at the avenue of Metasequoia, where somewhere around here. So we've only driven this much so far. We still have all of this to go. So we're gonna drive up a little bit further and then maybe around here, see if we can find a hotel.
Okay, we found a business hotel, 53-minute drive from here, so we're gonna try that one first.
ホテルさ、いくらまでとかある？
It would be really good if it was under 10,000 yen.
2人で？
Yeah.
あったらま
Under 20,000 yen is my hard line,
あ
but ideally under 10,000.
あ、2人で2万以下だったら余裕でやるよ。
I hope so. Well, we'll see, we'll see.
1万のどうなの？
Even when it's raining, the Japanese countryside is so pretty. So spacious. A lot of farmland. Mostly it looks like rice farms. Okay, we have entered Nagahama City. Super hotel. This is the first one we're going to try. All right, let's do it. Hopefully under 10,000 yen and a non-smoking room.
ホテル部屋空いてるかどうか。
I was not expecting that. On a Tuesday? Okay, plan B.
長浜 BG ホテル。
All right, let's do it. How far is it?
ここから5分。
Nice, let's go. Take 2.
お部屋空いてますか？満室ですか？
On to the next. Was this a really bad idea?
ナンバー3これ。あ、つの間りが部屋空いてます。そんなことある？
By this point, we were starting to get a bit nervous about our decision to be this disorganized and decided to try a different approach.
Yeah, change of plans. We're gonna start calling places up instead of physically going there, because that'll hopefully save us some time. I was not expecting this many places to be full on a Tuesday.
もしもし。あ、今日って素泊まりで2名って部屋空いてますか？
素泊まりで2名、少々お待ちくださいませ。
はい。
一番安いツインでございますと13,200円です。
あ、じゃあそれでお願いします。ありがとうございます。
はい、すいません。よろしくお願いいたします。
That was so much faster than going to each place physically.
でもみんな思ったやろな。なんで電話しないんだと思ってるやろみんな。みんなの言う通りです。
We have arrived at the Green Hotel Yes, Nagahama Minato-ka.
So this is the room. It is a economic twin room on the 5th floor. This is the bathroom. Hang on. It's a bit of a squeeze. This is actually the hotel closest to Nagahama Station that we tried. Literally across the road from here is Nagahama Station. So it's actually a really conveniently located hotel if you want to like explore Nagahama, I guess. I'm starving, let's go eat.
Ramen Baikate is a well-known ramen shop in Nagahama. Their most popular dish is a shoyu or soy sauce based ramen with wontons. So Kei got that and I got something called a maze soba because it looked so good. First the ramen arrived. It was good. I really liked having the wontons in the soup. But then the maze soba arrived. Maze soba means mixed soba and is basically a soupless ramen. It comes with a rich sauce and toppings which you then mix yourself to combine all the flavors.
Smells so good. Oh my god.
This was so good. It was packed with garlic, so if you're a garlic fiend like me, highly recommend this dish. We also got a side of a yuzu egg, which was meh after being blown away by the maze soba. There were pretty big portions too. I was so stuffed. And then halfway through demolishing my remaining sauce, I found out I was actually supposed to leave that because you're given rice after the noodles to finish off the leftover sauce. It was delicious, so of course we ate it. And then we realized we forgot we ordered dessert. This is called onion tofu or almond tofu. It came highly recommended. I don't really like the flavor of marzipan, so I wasn't expecting to like it, but it was actually really good.
Good morning. It is the second day of our road trip. We woke up early and drove from our hotel in Nagahama to Hikone, which is about a 30-minute drive, to check out Hikone Castle. The grounds are really big, so we're not going to have time to go in today, but we wanted to come check out what it looked like with the autumn leaves. Yeah, look at the view from our window. The hotel was good. I have no complaints. Kay says he slept really well too. The plan for today is we're going to drive the rest of Lake Biwa. We've got a couple of temples we want to check out, as well as a museum called MIHO Museum that I've been dying to visit. But it closes at 5 p.m. and I would like to get there with a bit of time to spare to enjoy it before we have to head back to Osaka to return the car. So a bit of a packed itinerary, but first up, let's get some coffee.
That's Ibukiyama there in the distance, snow-capped.
Hello.
This is our brunch. This is the morning drink. I got the quiche special. And I've got some jelly as well, coffee jelly. I've got an oat milk latte. And Kay got the Kenyan roast, medium roast.
I look for the things I don't know.
That was a really nice cafe.
Okay, now we are heading to a temple called Kyorinbo, which is a 1-hour drive from Bellmo Coffee. Let's go. Oh yeah, we were talking to the staff member and they were saying that today is the first day that Mount Ibuki is covered in snow. And this area also gets covered in snow. There's a saying that once snow falls on Mount Ibuki 3 times, the snow will come to this area as well, which is around like Nagahama, Maibara.
大阪はこの幅で4車線ぐらい作るよ。
こんにちは。大人2人でお願いします。はい。ありがとうございます。
チケットを見せてください。
はい。This is Kyorinbo Temple.
Kyorinbo, meaning a place of teaching surrounded by forest, is said to have been created in the year 605 by a prince Shotoku. This glorious garden, however, was created 1,000 years later, and every year in autumn, the leaves of the garden turn a bright red.
I've never heard of this place. It's so beautiful. The gardens are just so beautifully designed and they're playing this really soothing Buddhist chanting kind of music. I don't know what the official word for it is, but just sitting here in the garden, in this gorgeous, quiet garden, heals the soul.
We visited about a week too early for the bright red leaves, but the place was already starting to look magical.
Oh, wow. This place is so beautiful, but we've already stayed here for like 2 hours. So I think it's time to go to the next destination.
We actually had many more temples saved around Kyorinbo that we had heard are really pretty in autumn, but because we ended up staying at Kyorinbo for longer than expected, we realized we didn't have time to visit any other temples if we wanted to make it to MIHO Museum with time to spare. So we scoffed down a kombini lunch and started the journey there because it turns out this museum is built all the way up in the mountains of Shiga Prefecture.
We have just arrived at MIHO Museum. I'm very intrigued by what kind of museum this is going to be. I'm not sure if we can film inside, we'll find out. But anyway, I'm excited.
We arrived at MIHO Museum at 3:20, only 20 minutes later than we had intended to be, so not too bad.
So the museum is actually out there. It starts out that way. These tickets.
But we'd underestimated how big this place was and how far we had to walk to where the museum actually was.
Do you reckon all these are the weeping sakura trees? It seems quite big. We might not have enough time. We'll see how we go.
Luckily, as we were walking up, we spotted a little shuttle bus. The walk up takes about 5 minutes, but in hindsight, the experience begins as soon as you enter the gates. The walkway to the museum takes you through a mountain, over the treetops, and if you're lucky enough to come in spring, down a path of weeping cherry blossom trees. MIHO Museum opened in 1997 and was founded by Osaka-born Mihoko Koyama, who it's named after.
Do you know how high we are?
そんな高ないけど。
We're like walking above the trees.
あ、怖い。
It was designed by I.M. Pei, who is best known for his glass pyramid at the Louvre in Paris, and the walls here are apparently the same materials as the reception hall of the Louvre. Pei is said to have called this design a real-life Shangri-La. There's a number of exhibitions to see, but they change depending on when you visit.
What a crazy place. Who thought of making a museum up here? There's no filming in here, so if you want to see what it looks like, you're going to have to come yourself. It was cool. It was artwork on scrolls from like 300, 400 plus years ago of famous sites of around Omi, so around Lake Biwa, because people have lived around Lake Biwa for like ages, especially around here. So it was cool, but definitely I feel like I would have enjoyed it more if I knew more about the history, but also like rushed through it. I probably could have read more of what was written there. There was English on everything, which was really cool. Of the museum building is insane. It's so bright, lots of windows, and you're up in the mountains, so you've got these gorgeous views of the mountains. And right now, because it's autumn, the colours are insane. Yeah, I think definitely not enough time. We came at about 3:30, it closes at 5, which is probably not enough time. I think you'd need upwards of 2 if you want to give each exhibition the time it deserves. Finally got to see this place. It was too short, so I'm gonna have to come again. It's just about to hit 5 p.m. and I think we are the last people leaving MIHO Museum.
MIHO Museum is so nice, but an hour and a half is definitely not enough. We needed 2 hours plus, so I'm definitely gonna have to come back to check it out. But this has been super fun, our little road trip around Lake Biwa, although I definitely underestimated how big Lake Biwa is and how many things there are to do around here, as well as the distance between each attraction. So I think in hindsight, instead of just doing a lap around Lake Biwa for the sake of it, it might have been a better idea to spend a day in Omihachiman and see what there is to do there, and then spend a day in another area to kind of really get to know the area, see all the attractions and do them justice. It was super fun and we got through so much, but it definitely feels like we flew through it and would have liked to spend more time at a few places, including MIHO Museum. And I feel like we had to skip a lot of things, which was a bit of a bummer, but I do really want to do a bike ride around Lake Biwa next, so clearly I haven't learned my lesson. Thank you so much for joining us on this adventure, and thank you to Airalo for sponsoring this video. If you would like to check them out, you can use my discount code SUNNY to get $3 off when you sign up. You can find information on them through the QR code on the screen now, or there'll be details in the description below. Anyway, it's time for us to get out of here and head back to Osaka to return the car. Let's go.